What up, what up, what up, what up? It's me, L Teddy 27.
What's good tonight? Right about the hood.
Oh, dear God, I'm already eating a drink.
Look a damn mess. Just a damn mess. No means no, and yes means no.
What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's good? What's up, people? What's up? It's me. I'm L Teddy 27, and I am back for another review. This is going to be our retro review. Retro review for The Wire, Season 2, Episode 3. And it is entitled Hot Shots. Let's get right down to it. Y'all know The Wire gives a lot. And there's a lot to discuss. I know I'm late. I know I'm late. Real late. But that's fine. We're going to make it happen. We'll make it do what it do. All right. So we start off. Omar is back. Oh, y'all know we love Omar. We season for Omar. Omar is back. Omar is talking to his new boo thing. Got a new boo thing. Some light-skinned dude. His name is Dante, okay? So they planning out their next caper on how they're going to rob, this new set of drug dealers or whatever. Meanwhile, while they're talking about, okay, this is how their tendencies and this is how they mess up and this, that, and the third, some chicks roll up on the drug dealers and do exactly what Omar and old boy were planning to do. They robbed the drug dealers the same way Omar and his new boo was planning on doing. We then see Freeman and Bunk. They still down there to the ship, trying to interrogate and investigate on what went on this ship. That they're trying to link to the case with the girls or whatever. And so there's two guys that are missing, and they're trying to interrogate all of these workers that work, down in the hull or the bottom of the ship. Child, none of them act like they speak English. All of them acting like they speak everything but English. They ain't getting nowhere edgewise. Okay. So they end up talking to the guy that's kind of in charge of the ship. I'm not sure if he's the skipper or whatever, but he says, listen, you can do all that you want to do. You can bring interpreters down here. They still going to act like they don't speak English. They ain't going to tell you nothing. Even with the interpreters, they ain't going to tell the interpreters nothing because they have this code. Everything that happens underneath the ship stays underneath the ship. They ain't going to talk to nobody. But like I said, we find out two guys jumped ship. One jumped ship in Norfolk, Virginia. One jumped near Philadelphia. And they don't know where those guys are. One of the guys left his stuff on the ship, but they don't know where he is or whatnot. So they're not getting anywhere edgewise with that. We then see Nick is getting his hair cut by his baby mama. The baby mama is like, listen, we need to move in together. We need to do right by our daughter. Why are we not living together? Why are we not being a family? Our daughter needs this. She's talking about it in school, this, that, and the third. And he's like, listen, I'm doing the best I can. I'm trying to get more hours down to the dock. As soon as I get more hours, I'll get more money and we can get an apartment and we can live together. But you got to give me some time. She ain't trying to hear it. She's just like, listen, I need this now. Child, she ain't buying it. Anyway, McNulty goes down to see Darius. He goes down to the evidence room way down in the basement. And, they catch up on how everybody's doing, and so forth. After that, McNulty talks about how he's got to find Omar, because if he doesn't find Omar, that's going to mess up the case. The case is done. The Barksdale case is done if they can't find Omar. He was like, I don't even know where to begin looking for Omar, because last time I saw Omar, I was putting him on a bus to New York City. Child. Anyway, Daniel says, listen, I ain't going to be here too much longer. I'm putting in my paperwork, getting the hell out of Dodge, retiring, getting the hell out of Dodge, and I'm going to start practicing law because I'm not going to be having a whole ass law degree staying down here locked away in this basement. Nope. I ain't going to let them keep fucking me up the ass without Vaseline like this. So he says, I'm out of here. And so he said, take care of yourself, McNulty, but I'm getting out of here. We then see Omar and his boo thing, Dante. They go steal the money from the two chicks that just made the heist. They steal the money from them. And they tell the two chicks, listen, because what they had happened was the boyfriend rolled up on the chicks. And they were like, who the fuck is you trying to, steal money from us? He was like, I'm here with Omar. They were like, Omar, ain't he dead? And then they kill him. Omar ain't around here no more. And then Omar comes from around the corner and say, oh, Omar is here. And they take their money and you tell everybody that Omar is back. Anyway, down to homicide. Bunker and Freeman tell Sergeant Langford that they ain't making no way. They not getting nowhere on the case edgewise. They ain't got nothing to go off of. Nothing at all. Officer Russell down from the Port Authority Police Department. She's there with her uniform and stuff like that. And Sergeant Langford's like, listen, boo, this is homicide. We don't wear uniforms and stuff like that. We wear regular plain clothes. He said you might want to wear pantsuit, muted colors, and all of that stuff, basically saying you know, these men's around here, they have hot, horny dicks around here, and we don't need you making them all hot and bothered, okay? Anyway, she was assigned to that detail. She was assigned to them from the Port Authority to, you know, help with the case or whatever, but she's the only one that got assigned to them. Damn, how I messed that up? I'm looking at my notes and I skipped the whole page. Anyway, Major Valchek, with his white privilege, he talks to Carver about the van. Remember, the Longshoremen's Union stole that van with all of the equipment and stuff on there. So he's talking to Carver about where the hell is this van with 6 figures worth of equipment. Carver says, I do not know. The paperwork says it should be here, but we don't know where this van is. So they done lost this van. We know where the van at. They don't know where the van at. Down to the detail that Major Valchek is supposed to be having on Frank Sabata, that Prez is in charge of. They ain't doing shit down there. They ain't getting nothing done. They ain't making no movement on the case. They sitting on their ass, just not doing a goddamn thing. They ain't making nothing happen. And Prez is looking around like, I know you don't believe this shit. That I done went from the Boxdale case where I was learning real police work, and now I'm here with this brand of foolery. Prez don't like it. So then we see the chicks. Now we come to find out Omar is always 3 steps ahead of the game. Instead of trying to work against the chick, he gets the chicks to work for him. The chicks already probably know, yeah, we can't go up against the likes of an Omar. Omar is a formidable opponent. Omar is a scary individual. So they decide to work with Omar, and that just makes sense. So we see the chicks, you know, they running their game and so forth. Omar, his new boo, is watching closely, just making sure that they're doing everything the right way. Then we see Stringer and some dudes are chasing out the correctional officer, the one that was giving Avon a hard time, and they trying to find out what he got going on. And Stringer, you know, he's talking on the phone to people and so forth and so on. And I made note how Stringer talked about market saturation with regard to cell phone companies and so forth, and how cell phones were going to start to saturate the market. And so he mentioned that when he talked about how Poot had the cell phone that Stringer gave him to do business, but then he had another cell phone that he only uses for when his chicks call him to get some cooch. I just wanted to hear about Poot. You know, we likes Poot or whatnot, and I just wanted to know, you know, what was going on. I'm glad to hear what happened with Poot, but I made note of that because, you know, in the wire, it's little things you have to make note of. The chicks and Omar and the Boo thing, they talk some more and they strategize some more about how they're going to pull off their next caper, and then they move on from there. We did see Stringer's, the dudes that was with Stringer earlier are still following this CO. They following him everywhere he goes. Okay, they trying to get a handle on who this guy is and what he got going on. Omar and the new boo are back at home now. The new boo, Dante, he's with Omar, but Omar is so much of this of what a normal gay guy would be. The new boo is scared that Omar wants to get with the chicks, and that's why he put the chicks in on their whole thing that they got going on. And Omar's like, what the hell I got to do to reassure you that I'm not into chicks? I don't go for women. I want you. And so he'd be like, well, you know, he tells Omar about all of these different things or all of these different ways that they could do the same thing without the chicks involved. And Omar's like, listen, nah, I'm telling you, I don't have it. I don't see it for them. I'm not in it for them with it. I'm in it for you. And so, you know, they have their little intimate little frolicking going on because he's laid there naked. The boo thing is laid there naked. And Omar said, well, what I got to do? And he said, you knew what you got to do. They stopped playing around. And I loved it. And it brought back some memory. I remember watching this at that time. And I remember thinking so much, oh, I need me an Omar in my life. Oh, I remember back then watching The Wire saying, oh, where's my Omar? Because I need to be an Omar in my life. Yes, I need to be an Omar. I was here for Omar. Always here for Omar. Anyway, gave me life abundant. But I love the fact that the writers always did not neglect to give us these intimate scenes with Omar and whoever his boyfriend was. They didn't shy around. They didn't, you know, play around with Omar actually being gay. They didn't not show us them kissing and being intimate and real touchy-feely and lovey and all of that. They always showed all of that. And I'm so grateful for that because these are things that you just did not get to see or probably had not ever seen before on television at the time. So I was so glad. It just reminded me of back then seeing these things on television, how shocked I was that I was seeing it. And then how great of a character Omar ended up being in the pantheon of television series. We then see Stringer's boys still following the CO. Now they find out that the CO is selling drugs in the prison. He is getting drugs from this other drug lord, I guess you can call it, named Butchie. Okay, and that's the guy who's supplying the CO with the drugs to take into the prison. Butchie is blind. We'll call him Blind Bartimaeus. Okay, y'all don't know who Blind Bartimaeus is? Pick up a Bible. Bartimaeus is a guy in the Bible who's blind or whatever. Go pick up a Bible. Anyway, so Blind Bartimaeus is the one who supplied. They didn't even know at first that the CO was serving drugs in the prison. So by them, carefully casing and staking out this guy, they finding out all of this information about this CO that was giving Avon a hard time. McNulty, we did see McNulty drops his boys off to his ex-wife. The ex-wife talks to McNulty and says, "Hey, boo, listen. I'm going to have my lawyer see you some paperwork. And, it's going to be paperwork about a separation. Not a divorce, but separation paperwork." And he's all in his feelings about that because, he doesn't really want that. But I don't think you have too much of a choice, McNulty. Get over it. Nick and Ziggy, we did see them talking about Nick's money problems and how his girlfriend is giving him a hard time, this, that, and the third, and how he need to figure out all his money issues or whatever. So, Zig tells Nick, "Listen, there's a way for us to make money." And I really thought that that Zig was trying to tell Nick, to try and get back into the drug game or whatever. And I think it was because he was like, we could put some money together and, we could move some weight, move some stuff and this, that, and the third. And Nick was like, Zig, I'm not here for this. Nope, not going to get down with the drug thing. Because they use the N-word and they reference black people. And so that's why I immediately knew that they were talking about selling drugs and stuff like that. And so Nick said, "Nah, I'm not going out like this." We then see Bunk and Russell. They going out on this wild goose chase, trying to find this address that's supposed to lead them to, more information about the case or whatnot with that container that had the girls. Child, it's a fictitious address. They, get sent on a wild goose chase to a dead end. And it seems like this case is leading down a dead end. Like they ain't going to never figure anything out. We then see Stringer. Now that Stringer knows that Butchie is the one that's supplying this CO with drugs, Stringer goes to Butchie and says to Butchie, I kind of at first didn't understand the conversation between the two. But then Stringer tells Butchie, "Listen, I need you to do this for Avon." He was like, "Really?" And Butchie, Blind Bartimaeus, is like, "Okay, well, Avon got it like that." So he was like, "Yeah, we need you to do this." And so I was like, I really didn't understand it at first, but you know how The Wire is. More things come along as you keep watching. McNulty then goes and talks to the coroner. Now, the coroner gives him all of this information about the girls and them coming from Budapest and, breast implants and so forth. And the fact that they got, raped orally, vaginally, and anally before they, died and so forth and so on. And he's more than that because now he feels like he done cracked the case because he's McNulty, the great white hope. And we need this white savior to come and give us all of this information because, oh no, nobody else can do detective work like McNulty. Anyway, we see the CO is smuggling drugs into the prison. He puts them in these, how they have the halls, throat lozenges that you use, like if you sick or something like that, little halls, candies that you use, for sore throat or whatever, when you sick. He puts the drugs in those little packets, and then that's how he gets it in. Anyway, so McNulty, we see there McNulty tries to go down to homicide, and he's there to be the great white hope and tell Bunk and Freeman all he knows and discovered about the case, because there's no way Bunk and Freeman could have tried to figure this stuff out. And they look at him like, "Oh, you coming to tell us dot, 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 and dot, 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 and dot, 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 dot," because we would have never figured that out. And I love how they just embarrassed them, because so many times the people descended from the Caucasus Mountains always think that people of color need them to save them or help them out with something, because nobody is as intelligent as the people descended from the Caucasus Mountains. Y'all don't get me started on this train. Y'all know how I feel about McNulty and his level brand of racism at times. Don't get me started, honey. Anyway, and I love that they did this and embarrassed them in front of Officer Russell. Because I'm sure he wanted to go. He probably wanted to bang Officer Russell. He probably thought coming down there, showing off, was going to make Officer Russell hot in the vajayjay and hot in her cooter and make her want to give him some. Get your life, McNulty. Get your life. We then see Frank down at some political event with the union lobbyist. And the union lobbyist is trying to help him work the room and so forth, who to talk to, who not to talk to. One of the people he said, listen, if we don't get this guy, we not going to get what we want, is Clay Davis. Now, Clay Davis, we know, is a mover and shaker. And the lobbyist said, listen, we already gave him $40K. And Frank was like, God damn, we gave him $40K and he still ain't on our side. He was like, nah, we still trying to get him. But trust me, this is the guy we want to get. So he comes over there and tells Frank, I see y'all been playing nice. Y'all been doing the right thing. I look forward to more of your contributions. And I'm sure Frank in his mind is like, bitch, we done gave you enough fucking contributions. You ain't on board yet. And Clay Davis plays hard. And you know what? And I know what Clay Davis is doing because I've been in these types of arenas and I've been a part of things like that where you have to make these power moves. And I've been in a position that Clay Davis is in. And so I know how that is where somebody feels like I did this, and this. And I know that's enough to get you to come on my side. And you look at them and be like, nah, not yet. I'm a little more expensive than that. Yeah, you're going to have to put in more work, more time. And you know you have them by the balls because they're not going to be able to do what they need to do without you. And so that when you make power moves, you know, it's a good feeling. So I love this dynamic of the politics of it all, of Frank having to learn how to work the room. Frank having to learn, you know, where your money, where you got to put your money at, who is really going to get you the most bang for your buck, no matter how much bucks you have to put in. So I love that whole dynamic. Really, really did. Really, really did. So then we see, but I can tell you this, Frank ain't really built for this, which is why I'm glad they have lobbyists, because he ain't built for this type of stuff. So Bump, Freeman, and Russell, they go down to the U.S. Department of Justice to discuss the details of the case, and they start to learn a lot of information. They learn that all of this is coming back down to the fact that this was all a part of sex trafficking ring or whatnot. And these girls are worth millions upon millions of dollars. Okay, you can get upwards of $1 million+ for each girl. And you're talking about, I think they had, 16, 17 girls? That's almost $20 million right there. So somebody done messed up real bad if all these girls come up missing. And how, you know, there's upwards of 40 or 50,000 girls, undocumented girls in the U.S. a part of sex trafficking rings like this. And so this is big, big business. And so forth. Well, then we see Major Valchek at dinner with Prez and stuff like that. Prez lets him know, listen, because Major Valchek is checking on the details, seeing what information they got on Frank. And Prez says, listen, we ain't got nothing on Frank. The people that Burrell sent you ain't shit. They don't know how to do no police work. They ain't trying to do no police work. All they try to do is check whatever box that was supposed to be checked to send you on your way and make you happy. And Prez lets him know in no certain detail. The reason the Barksdale case got shut down was because of Burrell. The reason we were on the cusp of finding all of this information out on Barksdale, we were doing all of this great police work, and Burrell is the one who shut it down. Burrell is the one who tried to send Daniels horrible people that weren't going to do no work. Burrell is the one and the reason why nothing is being done on this detail. He just tried to shut you up, and you need to learn that. Major Valchek, you know, him and his white privilege, honey. The man Caucasus Mountains is not going to let this Negro come up and not give him what he wanted. He already probably feels some kind of way that there's a black man that is his superior. So you know he finna flex his white privilege all over the place. Put a bookmark on that. Stringer then goes down to check on Dee's baby mama and make sure that she's doing what she got to do. You can see when he first came in there, Dee's baby mama was hottie in her body, okay? She was hottie for his body, and she was hottie in her body. She wanted to dig, and she wanted it bad. She started bringing him little clothes that D had or whatever, that he had bought and never won. She was like, yeah, his sweater is never won. He was like, I don't wear other people's clothes. Besides, I'm an extra large. And I was like, oh, he was like, and so he tells her, he checks her and tells her, listen, you need to go down and play nice. You need to go down and make D feel like you're still in it. Make him, you know, whatever. Because you know how a man is when he in prison. He got a lot of time to think. And if he think you ain't trying to do right by him and his child, he's going to lose it and flip on us and anger with none of us. So she was like, all right, I'm going to do what I'm doing. He was like, is the money all right? She was like, yeah, the money is all right. So then after that, honey, girl, you know she got the dick, honey. I ain't mad. You know Stringer got the cooch, right? I ain't mad, honey. Baby, next thing you know, chickens get bust down by Stringer Bell. I ain't mad at it, honey. I ain't mad. We then see Bunk, McNulty, and Russell. They at the bar. Russell said, listen, I've been here long enough. I got kids. I got to go. So she leaves, and they learn that she got kids because they ain't know she had kids. She and her baby daddy ain't shit. I don't think they together or whatever. So then you know how McNulty and Bunk, they be at the boss after they left. So McNulty, of course, because he feels like he's the great white savior, says, oh, he has the picture of one of the chicks. I think it was the chick that he found in the water. Said, if I don't do nothing else, I'm going to save this one from going down there and being a lost case or whatever. I'm going to make sure I save her. And Bunk is looking at him like, there we go with your Superman shit. A mess. Anyway, Major Valchek gets a package in the mail. The package is a picture sent to him from the Longshoremen's Union with the van traveling in another part of the country because it's making its rounds all across the fruited plains. And they are laughing at him. You know Major Valchek and his white privilege. He is getting more and more upset. Y'all ain't going to keep making this man upset. Y'all know how white men are. They love to flex their white privilege. Anyway, so one of the longshoremen goes up to Frank. He says, Frank, listen. I'm having issues. You know I'm late on my union dues. I'm having problems making ends meet. I have to park my car 2 blocks down so the repo man don't come and take my damn car. Shit ain't working for me. I only got 5 days this month and I can't make ends meet and so forth. If I can't do this, I'm gonna have to go somewhere else. I think he said the number 47. I don't know if that's another port or another union or another job, but he was like, I'm leaving. So Frank tells him, listen, here's some money. Go down to the union hall, have a drink on me. You go home, go to the bartender, tell her Frank sent you, and that I told you to go down there and have a shot and a beer. You go home, you sleep it off, you think about it, and then you come back tomorrow, and you let me know what your decision is. So Frank goes in his wallet, gives him some money, and he sends the guy on. So then after that, Nick and Zig come up with this scheme. So Zig goes to one of the guys that works in the little control room for the port and says, gives him some and said, listen, give me a good container. Meaning, give me a container with some good stuff on it. So he said, all right. So, because he's in on the deal too. So between Zig, Nick, and the dude Zig was working with in the control room, they get this container. And they say that the container was misplaced and they got to ship the container back to where it's supposed to go, meaning that they're going to take it somewhere and now it don't have to be counted or accounted for on the port. So they end up taking the container away and taking it off the premises because, they all a part of the same union. So they trusting that they ain't doing nothing wrong with it, even though we know they are. Blind Bartimaeus, Butchie, is getting money, at his spot, getting the money from the CO. And, you could tell he's not in this with Avon. He ain't trying to help Avon. And he's like, he tell one of his dudes, yeah, your boy Avon ain't got the kind of pull and weight that he think he got. And so forth. So I guess, he makes it seem like he's getting over on Avon, still pushing his way, still doing what he's doing with the guy, with the CO in the prison. Excuse me. And then we see Avon at the prison. He goes to see D. He tells D, listen, I see you working in the library now. I got you this library gig. I'm looking out for you. I don't care what you think. We family. Everything I do for you is to show you that I'm looking out for you. And so he said, listen, you looking real dusty right now. And when he said dusty, he didn't mean dusty as a dirty meaning. Dusty as in you on that shit. You taking these drugs. And so D is like, listen, that's the only way I'm really able to cope in this motherfucker. But it ain't that serious. I can give it up if I want. So Avon says, listen, can you give it up for a few days? And he says, I can if I want to. He's like, I want you to do that. He's like, for what? I want you to do that. I ain't going to steer you wrong. It's all out of love. Can you do that for me for a few days? You're like, all right. He be like, listen, I need you to keep your head in the game. I need you to understand we in this together. I can't have you flipping. Understand it can all work out. You just stay in here with me. Keep your head in the game, and we gonna make it work out. And you can see D is getting frustrated, but he's right on the edge, but he's still on the good side where he's still gonna work with Avon. And so they go from there. So then we see Zig and Nick take the container. The container got a whole bunch of like 400 plus digital cameras, and they go to this dude that they're going that owns this electronics store, and they want to sell it to him. Stolen goods. They can get it cheap. So they say they're going to sell it to him for X amount of money. He tries to get him to run around. They're like, nah, this, that, and the third, that ain't enough. So they negotiate to the point where, because Zig done did his homework. Zig say, nah, because the dude tried to say, well, I can get it for this much. Zig was like, nah, you can really sell it for this much because I already checked with the other electronics store. Don't fuck off. And so they go back and forth. So they come up with $20,000. Gonna give you $20K for the whole container. This, that, and the third. And so they say, okay, we good. We got a deal. But he said, I got to check with my people first to make sure that I can make this deal. And they say, all right, let us know. So then we see Major Valchek goes to check in on the detail. He goes there and they ain't doing shit. The lieutenant ain't even there. The people that's supposed to be working there ain't doing shit. He looks at Prez and Prez is like, tried to tell you. I'm glad you came here to see it because ain't a goddamn thing getting done. Next thing we know, we see Major Valchek at this event. Burrell is having some event, you know, as a part of his whole campaign to become police commissioner or whatever, you know. Major Valchek goes there and says, hey, boo, I already see what you tried to do. And Burrell is like, this is not the place, not the time nor place. And no, this is the time and the place. Because I go in this fucker and let these hoes know all the shit that you pulled with the Barksdale case. And I get all my white people not to vote for you. Don't think that I won't flex this good white privilege over here. Okay. So then he tells Burrell, listen, don't fuck off. Do not fuck off with me. So Burrell was like, what you want? Listen, I need you to give me some real people on this case. A matter of fact, what's the black dude, Daniels? I need you to put him as the lieutenant on this case in charge. Because I need some real work to be done on this. And he was like, well, Daniels is already put in his paperwork. He ain't went before the pension board yet. So you can still go down there and talk to him. Bitch, make it happen. Make it happen. And what you think Burrell gonna do? Burrell gonna make it happen. At this point, Burrell is locked in to do whatever he got to do to become the police commissioner. So he's gonna make it happen. Next we see at the prison, they, you know, going around with the drugs, you know, giving the drugs out. The CO came in with the drugs, gave it to the guy who gonna, you know, do what he got to do, you know, parcel it all out and begin distributing it. So they make his rounds, start distributing it, and when he gets to D doesn't take it. So D does what he does what he told Avon he was going to do. He doesn't take the drugs. He lays off the drugs for a while. And so the guy next to D that works in the library with him asked the man who was distributing the drugs, did D tell you? Like, nah, D ain't taking it this time. And you're like, oh, okay, oh well. So then we see, remember that worker that went up to Frank and said he was having money problems? So the worker does go down to the Union Hall. And he goes to the bartender lady and tells the bartender lady, listen, Frank told me to let you know. Frank told me to tell you to give me a beer and a shot and a beer. And so and he gives the lady the money. The lady gives him the shot and comes back with a stack of cash. And he was like, what are you giving me this for? You told me Frank told you to give you a shot and a beer with this money. And this is what comes with, that's the change you get from this. And so basically what it means is Frank looks out for his word. If you come to Frank and say, I got an issue, money problem, Frank gonna do right by his people. That's why everybody love Frank. So Frank done gave this man enough money probably to make ends meet, you know, temporarily and so forth. And so, you know, and so Zig is there. So the lady tells Zig, you know, your father's a good man. He's a good man. He does right by his people. Back at the prison, next thing you know, what you see, all of those people who took them drugs, they having an overdose, which means that Avon and them done got to Butchie's drugs and done put some shit in there that done made all the people overdose. They all, you know, coming up, foaming at the mouth, probably dead and stuff like that. And that's why he told D not to take the drugs, because he knew that they was going to do that. That Avon knew that they was going to do that. Avon is still ahead of the game. Avon always able to flex his muscles when he could. And that's where it goes off. Listen, I like Avon. It's two characters I love in this show. I like Avon because even though Avon comes off as not being the mastermind, Stringer always comes off as being the mastermind, but it's not. It's always Avon. And Stringer can't stand that. We're going to get to that later in subsequent seasons. But Avon is truly the one that's always thinking. Omar is the same way. Omar and Avon are the same way in that they're always thinking ahead of the game. Where people underestimate them and thinking that they're not as smart as they are. When while those people are thinking they're not as smart as they are, they 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 steps ahead of that person. So I love what's going on here. All of this chess that's being played. They over there playing checkers while Avon is playing chess. Same thing with Omar. Anyway, that was The Wire Season 2, Episode 3, y'all. I hope y'all like this review. Let's get going. This done got me back excited, y'all. We'll be back with Episode 4 real soon, y'all. That's all I got for y'all. Thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. We out.